This is a story of ambition, power, and a looming sense of danger. The people there today, those who have taken over the land of Palestine, have a dream to rebuild a long-lost temple. But once it's rebuilt, it won't stop there. Their next ambition is Greater Israel, a vision so grand it feels like the calm before a storm. According to a hadith, rebuilding this temple will come at a great cost. The city of Medinah, a place of deep significance, will fall into ruin. And when Medinah crumbles, it will be the beginning of something even darker, the wars of Armageddon. Now, let's stop and think for a moment. When will Jesus return? Will he come to end this chaos? Or is there something else we're not seeing yet? What role does Israel play in all of this? And Palestine, this land soaked in history and conflict, what part does it play in the end of days? According to the Jews, once the temple is built, resistance will be wiped away. Muslim cities will fall, one after another. But there's something chilling about this story. The last city they will destroy is Medinah. The prophet once said that Medinah will be the final target. What do you think will happen if they reach it? When we talk more about all of this, the topic of the red heifer sacrifice arises, an event believed to signal significant change. Some think it has already occurred, while others await the perfect moment for its revelation. Regardless, it promises a ripple effect across nations. Then there are key figures: the Messiah, the Antichrist, and the Mahdi. The Messiah, marked as the chosen one, will lead his people. But a false Messiah, the Antichrist, poses a dark challenge. Meanwhile, the Mahdi is expected to arrive before Judgment Day, bringing justice to a corrupt world. The question is, how close are we to seeing these events unfold? Long ago, there was a promise. A Messiah would come to guide the people. For Muslims, Christians, and Jews alike, this figure holds great importance, but not everyone agrees on who he is. For Muslims and Christians, the Messiah is clear. It is Jesus, the Son of Mary, who will return at the end of times. But for the Jewish people, the awaited Messiah hasn't come yet. They didn't recognize Jesus, and to this day, they wait. The Jewish belief says that for their Messiah to come, they must first be ready. How? By rebuilding the temple in Jerusalem, the Temple of Solomon, and returning to their faith with enough strength to host him. But their vision doesn't stop at Israel. It stretches far beyond, into what some call Greater Israel, a reign over not just the Middle East, but the world. But once the temple is rebuilt, it is the start of destruction. According to many Christians, this rebuilt temple will be the stage for the appearance of a false Messiah, the Antichrist. This Antichrist, they believe, will claim to be divine and will place his idol in the temple, demanding worship from all. So, Christians and Jews are waiting for two very different messiahs, yet they both look toward the same temple. Could it be that what one group sees as their Messiah, the other sees as the Antichrist? The irony is chilling, isn't it? Both sides are preparing for something monumental, but their visions may be terrifyingly at odds. Meanwhile, Muslims also wait for Jesus to return, but their prophecies, they say, are more specific, more detailed. According to Islamic tradition, when Jesus comes, he will descend near the white minaret in Damascus, wearing two beige garments, his hands resting on the wings of two angels. At the time this prophecy was made, there was no minaret in Damascus, nor had Islam even reached that land. Yet today, the minaret stands exactly where it was foretold. That time will be filled with fear and chaos, when the greatest test of all humanity will appear, the Antichrist. Known in Islam as the Dajjal, he will be the most powerful and terrifying force to ever walk the earth. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned us of this dark figure, saying that no calamity would ever be greater than the arrival of the Dajjal. Your faith is tested at every corner, where people are desperate for truth but led astray by falsehood. That's the world the Dajjal will create. But how will we recognize him when he comes? His features will be unmistakable. The Prophet described him as having one eye damaged, as though it had been wiped away. The other eye will work, but it will be flawed, like a shriveled grape. Between his eyes it will be written in clear letters, Kafir, meaning disbeliever. And here's the important part. Every true believer, no matter if they can read or not, will see this word with the light of faith in their hearts. Dajjal will come with great power. He will claim to be divine, performing miracles and deceiving many. His time on earth will be a period of intense trials. The first day of his arrival will last as long as a year, the second day as long as a month, and the third day as long as a week. After that, time will return to normal, but his influence will cover the entire world. In those days, the Dajjal will seek to enter cities of faith, but Medinah will be protected by angels. Unable to penetrate its defenses, he will turn his attention to another sacred city, Jerusalem. It is there that the final confrontation will take place, as foretold. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said that the Muslims, led by the Mahdi, will be in Jerusalem, surrounded by the Dajjal and his forces. In their moment of desperation, Jesus, peace be upon him, will return, descending near the white minaret of Damascus, clothed in 2 beige garments, his hair dripping as though he has just bathed. With his arrival, the dark cloud of fear will lift. When Jesus leads the believers in prayer, the Dajjal's reign will begin to crumble. After the prayer, Jesus will open the doors, and as his blessed scent spreads, the enemies outside will fall. The Dajjal, terrified of his fate, will try to flee, but Jesus will chase him down and defeat him at the gate of Lydda in Palestine, ending his story once and for all. The return of Jesus, peace be upon him, in Islam is a significant event, but it's important to clarify that he will not return as a prophet to bring new revelations. According to Islamic teachings, after the finality of prophethood with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, no new prophet will come. Jesus, upon his return, will follow the Islamic law and will not add or alter any religious teachings. The religion is already perfected, as emphasized in the Qu'ran, and there is no need for further additions or changes. When Jesus, peace be upon him, returns, he will correct certain misinterpretations and enforce the true version of the law. But these changes will be based on the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, not his own. This is an important distinction because Jesus will come as a follower of Islam, not as a prophet with a new message. Regarding the events leading up to the arrival of the Antichrist, Dajjal, certain signs are mentioned, including the rebuilding of the Temple of Solomon. In some interpretations, it is believed that efforts to rebuild the temple will coincide with greater conflicts in the region, including the destruction of certain key cities, such as Madinah. This sequence of events ties into prophecies about the end times and the trials that will follow, particularly those involving the Dajjal. The idea of Greater Israel is linked to end times beliefs. Some Zionist groups want to expand Israel's borders from the Nile to the Euphrates, including parts of Jordan, Syria, and even Mecca and Medina. This goal could lead to conflict and destruction, as seen in Islamic and Jewish prophecies. Pursuing a greater Israel may cause major geopolitical tensions, signaling the decline of the current world order. The destruction of Medinah, though sad, is seen as a wake-up call for Muslims and a step toward the victory of good. To prepare for the end times, especially during the times of Isa, Jesus, and the Antichrist, Muslims should reflect on Surah Al-Kahf. This surah teaches us about courage and faith in tough times. Regularly reciting it and finding supportive communities can help strengthen our faith and trust in Allah's mercy during life's challenges. May Allah grant us all the wisdom to live in a way that pleases Him and to leave this world in a state of righteousness, ready to meet our Creator. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.